Hey, what's up guys? My name is Tom Spark. Welcome back to another VPN review. Today we're going to be re-reviewing Windscribe for 2020, the first VPN review of this year. So this is really cool, right? Why am I re-reviewing Windscribe as the first VPN of 2020? Well, I've actually been testing it lately and come away pleasantly surprised that they've made some really good improvements. Now, as of now, Windscribe hasn't pushed a new UI update on PC, which they've been hinting at for, I think around a year or more, which is a little bit disappointing, but the UI doesn't really influence how the application performs, and in terms of security and stuff like that, it doesn't really matter, and it looks decent enough for now. But in this review, we're going to cover all the important things like pricing, security, application features, streaming compatibility, customer support, and all the things that you need to think about when choosing a VPN provider. Alright guys, well, let's go ahead and get into the review. Hey guys, just a reminder to check out vpntierlist.com. It's a collection of all my ratings on the channel, and you're going to find lots of helpful information here on how to choose a VPN. Anyways, back to the video. Alright guys, the first category we're going to do for Windscribe is going to be pricing. Now I think pricing is one of the most important categories that most every other VPN reviewer forgets to mention, and it just goes to show you that most VPN reviewers don't really pick products for their user base. They're picking products to sell to people so they can make the most money. Now with Windscribe, that's not necessarily the case. It's not the most expensive product. I'm not going to make more money by recommending it to you, but you are going to be paying less for it, and that's a really good thing. It's only $49 a year if you buy it all at once. That includes pretty much everything with it. It's $9 a month if you just want to do month by month, and they even have a build-a-plan as well, which is $1 per location plus $1 for unlimited data, which is going to be around $2 a month or $24 a year. I would probably recommend the yearly plan or the monthly plan as standard VPN plans, because you're going to get access to every single server, whereas the build-a-plan you're only going to get access to one server, like WinFlex or something like that if you choose it, and sometimes those streaming servers can have limited speeds. I just think overall that having access to every server for $49 is a better deal actually than the build-a-plan. That's just my opinion though. It might work for you. You can pick which one you want. And of course, all these plans come with these basic kind of things. So here is Windscribe's application. I am connected right now to a server. And as you guys can see, it's a very small application. It gets the job done while looking clean and minimalist. They also have a UI update coming out, soon. It's been supposed to come out for a while now, and it does look quite snazzy. I do like this interface though. The new one just kind of looks a little bit more kind of poppy, not so blue. We do have this interface here, which is still good to use. You could turn the firewall on and on, which is going to act sort of like a kill switch. It's going to prevent any leakage, and of course you could go into the preferences, which are pretty good. You have some customization here with basic customization for how the app performs on startup. You have some firewall configuration settings. You have a little bit of control over the protocol here. You can use IKEv2, which is kind of the standard one, which is going to give you really fast connection times. You also have the ability to use OpenVPN, UDP, or TCP, as well as Stealth and WStunnel, which are really good protocols to use if you're having trouble accessing VPN at school or at work or something like that. For most people though, IKEv2 at port 50 is going to be good to use. You really can't customize too much ports with IKEv2, but going over here, you also have a little bit more port options as well to play around with. Let's say if UDP port 443 is blocked, you can try some other ports as well. I also do like how Windscribe has a little bit of helpful tutorials here to explain everything like this. We also have some DNS configurations if you want to switch to Google Cloudflare and stuff like that. Good to see more options there, of course. Not a lot of VPNs offer, the ability to switch protocols and DNS and stuff like that. We also have proxy settings, which is cool, which can act like a double layer of encryption as well. And that's about it. I think this is a very good application, and of course you have your servers here as well. You can select specific servers, which is nice. Not every VPN allows you to do that. Of course, you just kind of pull down the drop down, pick which one you want, you'll click on it, and it'll start connecting. It's also nice because you could automatically switch between servers without disconnecting. As you see here, it's just gonna connect to the next one that I picked, and it's very quick connection time, some of the fastest out there because it's using IKEv2. as well as all these other services. You could see we have WinFlex, different options here to connect to streaming servers, lots of servers available to choose from, so it's not like they have a limited server selection. It's gotten quite good over the years, and they even have some joke servers like this. It's not really quite clear what that does, but it's funny to see in there, and you'll become familiar with Windscribe's sense of humor through their marketing emails and little Easter eggs like that. Windscribe is also pretty cool because it has some pretty cool advanced DNS and IP level blockers. There's a couple of VPNs out there that do DNS ad-based blocking, kind of like TorGuard VPN, but Windscribe I think gives you really good customization in controlling exactly what is blocked. You could do that on the website, which is really cool. Perfect Privacy has some similarities here as well, but they also allow you to do port forwarding on the website, which is really handy if you like seeding and stuff. Not every VPN does that, but it's good to see it here as well. And yeah, that's pretty cool. Overall though, guys, I really like Windscribe's application, and in my opinion it hasn't really seen that many dramatic new updates. It's always kind of been similar in being good at having good customization and stuff like that. We might see new updates come out in 2020 for better interface kind of changes, but it's not here yet. Might do another update when that comes out, but overall I don't really have too many complaints with this application at all. Now, what about Windscribe's reputation? Well, I actually think it has a very good one. They're based in Canada, if that's important to you, which is based within, the 14 Eyes. But if you're familiar with my channel, I don't really value it that much as being something to consider when picking a VPN, because VPNs based outside of the 14 Eyes, like in Hong Kong, for example, PureVPN gave a blog, so it's more about how much you can trust the company, who owns the company, how transparent they are with their users, and Windscribe is one of the most transparent companies out there. They do not record VPN sessions, source IP, sites you visited, so they don't really collect anything while you're using your VPN, which is good. They basically just collect a little bit basic things like stuff that is stored in server memory, which is immediately discarded when you disconnect, so they're not really logging anything. Additionally, I think Yegor has some of the best kind of outreach in terms of how he talks about VPN. Not a lot of CEOs of VPN companies are very active and participating in discussion about VPN, but he is quite different in that he makes some really good blog posts illustrating some really strong points about VPN. Sometimes he'll diss other companies, talking about pricing schemes that aren't really legitimate. He'll sometimes talk about speeds, and even here he's talking about how it doesn't really matter where a VPN is based necessarily. It's more important to consider, what kind of company they are. Can you trust the company? He also talks about various ways that you can discuss logging and stuff like that and consider it. Overall, I think there are some really good Medium posts by this guy, and it's a pretty good company. And a lot of people really like Windscribe's reputation because they're so outspoken and active in various kind of Reddits and Discords and stuff like that. Now we're going to be doing a speed test for Windscribe, and Windscribe is an interesting VPN provider. For some people, it gets some of the best speeds around. Today, it's not looking too fast. Usually my ping without VPN is around 20 or 19 ms. Download sometimes for me without VPN on is around 500 megabits per second. So I'm not really sure what's going on here, but like I was saying, for some people Windscribe is very fast and very consistent both in speed test and downloading. But for me, Windscribe has been really quick in speed tests, but not so good for downloading. Today it looks like it's not really doing that good in speed tests, so we're gonna have to do a little bit more tests. Testing the best server selection also got me really bad speeds. Terrible download rate, terrible upload rate. I'm not sure what's going on here. Let's try another server, I guess. Okay guys, so I connected to the San Francisco server and I'm getting much better speeds, getting a much better download rate. So with Windscribe, it looks like some servers could be a little bit slower, some servers could be way faster, so it's something you might have to consider when using it. It might take some tinkering around to find the right server to get the best speeds for your location. Certainly seems to be my case, and even this isn't getting as good of speed tests as I can with some other VPN providers out there, which get closer to 300 megabits per second, something like TorGuard VPN or even something like ExpressVPN, which are some of my fastest VPNs I've tested. Anyways guys, this is only just one part of the speed test, of course, so let's go ahead and test it with some torrents files. Okay guys, we are now connected to the fastest server I could find, and we are testing out a Ubuntu file in this BitTorrent application, seeing how good of speeds we can get. Keep in mind, without VPN, I could get to 40 megabytes a second for torrent downloads. Some of my fastest VPN providers get around 20 to 30 megabytes a second for my torrent downloads. So of course, with VPNs active, you are encrypting your internet through a tunnel, so there is going to be some speed degradation. However, like I said, some of the fastest ones get between 20 to 30 megabytes a second, and without it get around 40 megabytes a second. Now with Windscribe, it's always been a little bit slower for me. Like I said before, it kind of depends on where you are in the world, how your speeds can be. Now in the speed test, I didn't get good results for 2 servers, and the 3rd server that I did get decent results for were still not up to the best VPN speeds that I've seen. Even right now, I'm only getting between 2 to 3 megabytes a second for downloading this torrent file, which is definitely not anywhere close to some of the fastest VPNs that I've tested in 2 states. That's where I've lived in the times that I've been testing Windscribe. So even moving a couple different times around the world, I've found that speeds are not very consistent, not very fast in my tests. You'll have to let me down in the comments down below if you get better results with Windscribe. Let me know. So Windscribe is kind of interesting because unlike a lot of VPNs that have live chat, unlike a lot of VPNs that just have support tickets, Windscribe tries to do a little bit different. They have an AI called Gary, which is kind of programmed to deal with some of the common problems you might be having. However, most people find that Gary can't really solve every problem for them. It does answer some basic questions and stuff like that, but if you have a problem with your account, it's probably not going to be that helpful and you're going to have to submit a support ticket. Most of the time, though, Windscribe doesn't really have a support team being able to provide live chat services. And I've also seen some people complain that sometimes Windscribe's sense of humor, the CEO's sense of humor, the management's sense of humor can be a little bit abrasive and people can take it the wrong way. A lot of times, Windscribe kind of has an attitude like, if you don't like our jokes, if you don't like our service, well, fuck you or something like that. And that's okay, but can rub people the wrong way. And additionally, since there is not that much support for actual real life people, it's not going to score as high as some VPNs that do put a little bit more effort into hiring people to actually talk to people and fix their problems. Gary could be okay for you though, depending on how complex your problem is or if you have a problem with your account or something like that. Overall, that's just my thoughts though. Now, if you're looking to use Windscribe with streaming services like Netflix, Prime Video, Hulu, BBC iPlayer, or even Disney Plus, you're actually going to have really good success here. The things you're going to want to do, however, with Windscribe, of course, is always to make sure to use their WinFlex servers. These are the servers that are specifically, kind of designed to work with streaming services. So if you want to watch US services like Netflix, Hulu, and Prime Video, you're going to want to connect to the WinFlex US server. If you want to watch the Japanese version of Netflix, connect to the Japanese WinFlex server. And you can connect to UK WinFlex servers if you want to watch BBC iPlayer or just some UK service as well. I've had some success with. In my test though, Windscribe now does work with Netflix, Hulu, Prime Video, and BBC iPlayer and Disney Plus. So that's really good to see. Windscribe only used to work with Netflix and Hulu, and it's kind of improved it over the last year or so. So I really am impressed with that capability, especially since it's only $48 a year, $9 a month or less if you want to do the build a plan for the single server. And anyways, pretty good. Alright guys, so for the final Windscribe review, we're going to give it a 4.08 out of 5, which makes it a tier 1 VPN provider, which is very impressive. For pricing, I don't really have any problems at all. It's pretty close to perfect, if not perfect already. The application gets 4.5 out of 5. It's very close to perfect. It has some interesting protocols, some interesting customization features. The one thing I don't really like too much about Windscribe is that sometimes it can feel a little bit tricky to find a server that is faster than the other ones. I still think some work needs to go into making the automatic server function pick a better server for your location a little bit more reliable. Sometimes it's hard to find a fast server and you kind of have to mess around with a different couple servers to find the right one for you, which isn't always a problem I have with some other VPN providers. Sometimes servers can be inconsistent. And that leads me into my next point is speeds. Speeds definitely are not very good here for me. Some people have really good speeds with Windscribe, but in all my tests over all the years, Windscribe has never been that fast. Usually I get to 2 to 3 megabytes a second for downloads in my speed tests. They're sometimes okay, but nothing that impressive. It just leads me to believe that this isn't the fastest, most consistent VPN provider everywhere in the world, where some other VPN providers like TorGuard and ExpressVPN don't have as much problems with that. They have more consistent server network with better speeds in multiple locations, not just a few locations sprinkled throughout the world. They do have a lot of servers to pick from though. In terms of reputation, I don't really have any problems with Windscribe at all. They're very transparent. I like the CEO's outspoken nature and his Medium posts, which explain clearly why the company does what they do and how they do it. Very cool. Now, in terms of customer support, I only gave it 3 out of 5. I usually would have get 2.5 out of 5 for not having live chat. I gave them a half point for having a cool little AI robot that can sometimes be kind of useful to talk to and help you with minor troubleshooting problems. But it's still not going to get 5 out of 5 for not having a dedicated live chat team, which some VPNs can offer. You can get moderate success with tickets though and stuff like that with Windscribe, of course. And stream compatibility, 5 out of 5, works with all of them that I tested: Netflix, Prime Video, Hulu, BBC iPlayer, and Disney Plus, which is really cool because you don't really have to mess with anything. It just works with the WinFlex server. So it might be the easiest VPN to use for streaming services, since you don't really need to buy anything extra or do anything special, which is really nice. So final score, 4.08 out of 5, making a really good VPN provider for many reasons as discussed in this review. Let me know if you like this review down in the comments down below, and remember to check out VPN tier list as you see on the TV behind me to see all of my VPN reviews and rankings that are totally unbiased and honest and truthful without any sponsorships at all. Anyways guys, I'll see you again on the next VPN review very soon.